Hi guys, you're welcome to Sports Maestros TV, where we discuss sports and we'll bring you updates on sport news. I'm Deb Love, your favorite host, and with me here today is Wale and Radic. And we're still on the greatest 11. Today we'll be discussing Real Madrid's greatest 11. But before we proceed, kindly subscribe and hit the notification bell to get notified anytime we have an update for you. Do not forget to also follow us on Instagram at Sports Maestros TV. Okay, Wale, you're welcome. Radic, you're welcome. Okay, let's talk about Real Madrid's greatest 11.
I have an issue.
Okay.
Why do you always call Wale first before you call Radic?
Because it just so happens that Wale knows more sports than Radic.
Radic, maybe. Well, no sentiments aside. Alright, let's take it again. Radic, you're welcome. Wale, you're welcome. Radic, are you okay with that? Alright, let's have your greatest 11, Radic. Let's start from your goalkeeper.
I think we should start with the formation first.
Okay.
And I'm going with the 4-2-4. It's an old school formation. Many of us may not really know about that kind of formation, but I'm going with it. So I'll be starting with my goalkeeper, and my goalkeeper will be an obvious choice, Iker Casillas. Iker Casillas, a boyhood fan of Real Madrid, became the goalkeeper of Real Madrid, and to me is the greatest goalkeeper to ever wear the shirt of Real Madrid. And very, very good. Not too tall. Doesn't meet up with the criteria of the goalkeepers nowadays in terms of height, 5'11", but very, very good goalkeeper. Very, very good positioning. Very good reflexes. Iker Casillas is my goalkeeper.
Okay, Wale, let's start with your formation as well.
Have I mentioned that Radic was a failed goalkeeper?
Why? That's too much, Wale. That's much of okay.
So let me that was, of course, it's the joke anyway.
Yeah.
All right. For me, just like Radic mentioned, it's perhaps the most difficult thing we have done when picking best 11, because where do you want to start from? It's Real Madrid. Since Real Madrid is about 21 years old. They're the most successful club in the world. They're the most successful club in Spain, not just in Spain, in all of Europe. Perhaps, just like I said, in the world.
Yes.
They've won 34 or so La Liga championships, 14. No club has won 10. No. So you see, that's the UEFA Champions League. They've won virtually every club competition in Europe. They've always had money. They've always bought the best players. So it's difficult, I am sure since we have started, I've not seen his lists, but he already said 4-2-4, and I'm doing 4-3-3. I'm sure that our list will be very different, perhaps the most different of all the best 11 we have done. Let's just see.
Okay,
so goalkeeper 2, I'll go with Iker Casillas.
Wow. Okay. All right. So Radic, let's move on with your defense.
Okay, my defense. Let's go with the left hand side. Obviously, if you've not seen our compilations, you need to go check our playlist. We have compilations of the greatest footballer to ever wear a jersey in football. And the name I'm going to be calling now is Roberto Carlos. Roberto Carlos was just exceptional for Real Madrid. Yes. Like we have said it several times, the way Ashley Cole was for Arsenal and Chelsea, the way Celestine Babayaro was for Chelsea, Roberto Carlos was just that kind of player. You will confuse him for a midfielder sometimes, a winger, but he was a defender, scored a lot of goals, was a free kick specialist, And my team, you are going to see that ruggedity. I want ruggedity in my defense. I don't just want the technical aspect of football. I want that ruggedness. And Roberto Carlos is actually going to fit in effortlessly in my defense.
Okay.
But Radic, it wasn't that's much of a very simple choice. Because after Roberto Carlos, there was another Brazilian that came.
Yeah.
And Marcelo was truly exceptional. You know, just like Roberto Carlos loved going forward, got in a lot of goals. You mentioned goals. Roberto Carlos had 71. And he had more than 80 assists. Marcelo too was very proficient in those two departments. And he was the most decorated of any Real Madrid player, Marcelo. Captained them at some point. So it was difficult. But you look at how much more Roberto Carlos impacted his teams, you know, his speed, his ability to cross, you know, and how he constantly helped the attack. So for me too, I will lean. It was a bit difficult, but I will lean towards Roberto Carlos.
Okay. Radic, let's have your right back.
My right back
is
Salgado. Michel Salgado. A no-nonsense player. And that was what I said initially, that I want ruggedity in my defense. Not just the technical aspect. You have to be rugged. You know, you have to be focused as a player. Salgado is my right back.
Oh, wow. Okay. Wale?
Okay, so for right back, I actually considered a number of players. Yeah, I actually like Salgado. Like Radic said, he was a Real Madrid defender we watched growing up, you know. So that pool was there. But you also look at Real Madrid over the 120-year plus history, and you also see a lot of players coming up in that position. Eventually, I settled for a player nicknamed Chendo, Miguel Nogueira. You know, 18 seasons, a dutiful player at right back. Maybe he wasn't the most skillful player, but he was a very loyal player to the club. Won a lot of things. I think 8 La Liga titles, 2 Champions League titles. But you know, for his consistency across the 18 years that he served the club, I will put him in right back.
Okay.
Well, I just mentioned that I might not be going far back, as some of our viewers will love me to go back.
Okay.
But I think I need to mention the fact that the players I'm picking are based on the ones I've seen and I've watched. Okay. So Wale's choice may be different from mine because of the longer period. So anyways, for my central defense, I think I should just go with the 2 straight up.
Okay.
Number 1, it has to be on anybody's list. Hierro.
So I'll just set that back.
No, Hierro is my first choice.
Okay.
And was also the captain of the Spanish team.
Okay.
You know, at some point he was the highest goal scorer before Raul broke the record. You know, for Spain. You know, you have a central defender who was the highest goal scorer of a whole national team. And like I said, no nonsense, ruggedity.
So who's your second?
My second is going to be Sergio Ramos. So that just completes it. The no-nonsense defense. Sergio Ramos is known for having the most red cards in the La Liga. As a matter of fact, it could even be in the whole of football. You know, the most red cards. So you know you don't mess with those kind of players. So my defense line, you can see that they are very, very fearsome. It's not a defense line. You just go and you just go showboating in their presence. So that's my defense.
Wale?
You know, and I very much agree with Radic on his 2 choices. Now, as soon as he mentioned Fernando Hierro, I said, wow, that means our 2 center backs will be safe. Because once you mentioned Hierro, you can't look beyond Sergio Ramos. And you mentioned the reasons. These are guys who are very good with the ball at their feet. They are guys who could play in the midfield and do very well. You know, these are guys who got in a lot of goals. Hierro got in 102. Ramos got in 101. You know, so you know, that's what they bring to the defense. Very solid at the back, but then the greater contribution is able to the team going forward. You know, you always look up to Sergio Ramos to come in and try to head in a ball from a corner kick. You know, penalty. As soon as Ronaldo left, he stepped up the penalty to the penalty duty. So you see, Fernando Hierro, yes. Sergio Ramos, spot on.
All right, Radic, let's have your.
So when I go to the midfield, like I said, I'm going with a 4-2-4.
Okay.
So let me just talk about the two straight away.
All
The first is a legend, a French legend, and also a Real Madrid legend, Zinedine Zidane.
Yeah.
Zinedine Zidane, the 3 times Ballon d'Or winner, right? You know, you can't mention. Sure, as a player, he won the Champions League for Real Madrid. As a coach, he won it 3 times. So we're not just talking about him as a coach. We're also talking about him as a player. So there's no how you can mention a team without putting Zinedine Zidane in that team.
Okay.
You know. Then the second person I will put in that midfield will be Modric. Sorry. I don't tend to mistake him for the new Chelsea signing. You know, Luka Modric. You know, I will mention him with the name of this channel. Luka Modric was a midfield maestro. Still is. Don't let them mention him in the past tense. Still is a midfield maestro. You know, the vision is there. The pass range is there. The technicality of the game is there. And the effortlessness, if I can use that word, it brings to the game when he plays in the midfield. You know, he does it effortlessly. So let me just stop at that.
Okay.
Luka Modric, the second person.
Okay, I have a 3-man midfield.
Okay.
And because of the depth of Real Madrid, I don't have a space for a defensive-minded midfielder.
Like
there are a lot of apologies. There are a lot of apologies to be made to a lot of fantastic players. You mentioned Luka Modric. You know, in any team, why wouldn't you want to put Luka Modric or even Toni Kroos? I'm sorry, guys, you won't make the cut. So I'm going with Zinedine Zidane in the middle, and for obvious reasons, multiple Ballon d'Ors. You see Zizou in your team, and you are confident. We've got this in control.
In any football,
I don't. It doesn't matter the players in the opposing team. Once you have Zizou in your team, you are sure that you are going to control the game. He was that good. He only played 5 seasons in Real, but just preparing for this shoot, I consulted several sites. Everybody listed Zidane in their team. Everybody. He was that good. Not that he scored so many goals or he had so many assists. It was his overall contribution, the balance.
You always remember that final against Bayer Leverkusen.
You know, that goal, I always talk about that goal. That goal, and that was the end of the match. It was as if they just agreed, we are giving the call to Real Madrid. You know, so beside him, I'm going to put 2 legends of Real Madrid. As a matter of fact, maybe 2 legends of football. Alfredo Di Stefano. For a long time, the highest goal scorer for Real Madrid, scored more than 300 goals, 308 goals, played for them for more than 10 seasons, starting from 1953. It was the time they won 5 consecutive Champions League trophies. You know, it was that generation. They were very successful in Europe, very successful in Spain. Of course, Alfredo Di Stefano, an Argentine, went on to becoming a Spaniard, became their president, became their manager before he passed on. So, you know, he's such an iconic figure for them. And then the last part, I have Francesco's Gento. He also played with Alfredo Di Stefano. They were the same team, the same high-flying team. So I will put those 3 in midfield: Gento, Zidane, and Di Stefano.
All right. Brady.
To an extent, I agree with Wale.
Okay.
You know, but no, I mentioned 4-2-4.
Yes.
So you can see where I'm leaning towards. Let me just mention my 4 players in the front. You know, I'll start with Alfredo Di Stefano. Like you said, you know, he has to be part of my attack, and he had that record for a long time before Ronaldo came and broke it, and eventually, and also Benzema also broke that record. You know, you have a player who
scored
players that were delivering in terms of goals also, and also in terms of trophies. You know, in his time, they won multiple Champions League. You know, and they were the reason Real Madrid started saying like Decima, because they won back to back
5 times.
for 5 times. You know, you know, and so you just have to put him in that mix, you know. I did not watch him, but he's going to be the only player in my team that I did not watch.
Okay.
Then also with him, I'm going to put Raul Gonzalez also. You know, a boy, a Real Madrid player and fan from the beginning, from the onset. You know, and he also exhibited that on the field. You know, put his heart and soul on the field and made sure he got trophies for Real Madrid and also scored goals, a lot of goals for Real Madrid before Ronaldo and the likes, you know. And the last two I'm going to be talking about, obviously I've mentioned them, you know. I'm talking about Benzema and I'm talking about Ronaldo. Ronaldo, CR7. The greatest player to ever play for Real Madrid. But they may not agree. But he is.
For Real Madrid, maybe.
Why?
I don't want to say the greatest player to ever play football.
No. Let's not go there. I don't want to start an argument.
It's a debate to have one day.
It's a debate to have.
Okay.
I would love to have that debate with you. But the greatest player to ever play for Real Madrid, Ronaldo, Cristiano Ronaldo. Nobody can dispute that.
No, this debate is coming very soon. Very soon. Okay. Well,
Then Benzema, you know.
Okay.
Benzema, after Ronaldo left, Benzema took up the baton, you know, and continued. You watch Benzema in the Champions League, and you are scared if he's playing against your team because you know any little opportunity is caused, just like Ronaldo. So those are my front four.
Okay.
I'm like two four.
Wale.
All right, for me, you know, I think it's true to what we said that we will not agree on the number of positions. And in my three-man attack too, there are differences. There are even glaring differences. I agree with Raul and C. Ronaldo. What can we say about Raul? He's the highest appearance maker for Real Madrid up till now. He's 741 appearances. A number of players have come close, but nobody has been able to break. He was so good, so skillful. He was always getting the goals. You know, it was so much joy. You know, one of the blessings of watching Real Madrid was seeing Raul play. You know, his iconic number 7, the way he used to kiss, was it a ring on his left hand every time he scored? You know, there was so much beauty, class.
They should even retire that shit.
Perhaps. So much beauty and class about him, you know. And then he got more than 300 goals. Only Benzema and C. Ronaldo eventually got more, you know. And then after Raul, I'm going to mention no other than CR7. You know, 450 goals, 438 appearances. He got more than 1 point something in average of goals scored. That's amazing.
Absurd. That's crazy.
That's amazing. In 9 seasons, you know, you can say a lot of things about C. Ronaldo, and you still wouldn't have hit the nail on the head. He's still playing. He is that good. But finally, in the middle of them, I'm going to put Ferenc Puskas. You know, yeah, do you agree?
Yeah, Radic, do you agree with that?
Yeah, no, it's a good choice. It's a good choice. But like I said, the players in my team are players that I've seen play. Okay. But I only made an exception for to Alfredo Di Stefano.
Yes.
You get, but it's a very good choice. You know, you know the Puskas Award now. You know, so we don't need to dwell much on that. So.
Okay, Wale.
You know, you look at there have been several successful Real Madrid teams, and the era of Stefano, I mentioned Gento. You know, Puskas was the third person in that particular team. You know, but he was the showman of that era. You know, he just didn't get good goals. He scored great goals, tons and tons of great goals. You know, and that you mentioned the Puskas Award. That's for the best goal in a year. It was because of the consistency in his glamorous goals that got that award named after him. And he got over 100 goals too for Real Madrid. He was part of though he joined them later. I think he got into the team in 1958. So he won, I think, 2 or 3 of the 5 Champions League titles that the others had. But there was no doubting his consistency and then his contribution to Real Madrid too. So I'll put him right in the middle. I'm sorry, Karim Benzema. Okay, maybe I'll still name my bench.
Of course. Okay. I think you should do that now.
Okay, I already mentioned Marcelo.
Okay.
You know, at left back. At right back, I'm going to have Michel Salgado. You mentioned Salgado already.
Yes.
But I'm also going to put Manuel Sanchez. But it's a midfield that I've got a lot of players. How can we not mention Emilio Butragino? How can we not mention Hugo Sanchez? And then you remember, we already talked about Toni Kroos, about Luka Modric. These are guys that normally should walk into any team, but it's Real Madrid. And then in the forward line, particularly, I love Angel Di Maria. I'm going to put him in my team, and then I'm also going to add Karim Benzema. So those guys will be the guys on the bench.
So Randy, let's have the men on your bench.
So in the attack, I'll pick Predak Mihajlovic. Then I also add Davos Suker. Then in the midfield, I'll pick Toni Kroos. And also Makelele.
Well, why not?
I will pick Makelele in the midfield. Then in defense, on the left side, obviously Marcelo. Then who do I add to them in that defense? I can't really think of much right now. But let's just stop at that.
Okay.
I just stop.
Alright guys, there you have it. We would like to have your own Real Madrid's greatest 11 in our comment section. Do not forget to like and subscribe. And do not forget to follow us on Instagram at Sports Maestros TV. From Sports Maestros TV team, we say we love you. See you next time.